Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Okay. So, do you have any parts that you'd like to get to know better or change your relationship with?
So, I did have something interesting that came up while we were doing the minute of meditation. Mm-hmm. Because I scanned my body and there was an energy in my chest that sort of ran down my arms. And I don't know if you've ever had restless leg syndrome.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think borderline.
Yeah, where they kind of feel anxious and they want to move, I have that sometimes. And so anyway, this energy ran down my arms and all of a sudden my hands started feeling really restless. But it was an excited thing. It was happy and excited, which is interesting because I'm in the process of finalizing, what my retirement's going to look like. So, and I don't really know, I don't know what I'm going to do in retirement, but I'll figure it out,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that feels somehow connected to that excited feeling?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We can get to know that part if you like.
Okay.
Or any other part, anywhere you'd like to go.
Yeah. Well, I did read over my notes before we started and just kind of reviewed what we talked about the last time and what parts sort of emerged during that conversation. Mm-hmm. And I don't really feel like any of that is jumping out or looking for attention or anything at this time.
Great.
Was good for me the last, I forget, I think it's been a week or 10 days or something. It's been good for me because the last time we talked about me being responsible for cleaning up any messes and things like that. And I feel like that's kind of been allowed, they're accepting that I'm going to be able to do that and to handle it.
Yeah. You also mentioned wanting to have a map of parts, and it sounds like you have your notes and you have...
Oh, I didn't make a map of parts, right? Yeah, but I do have
Yeah, you have your notes and you have your relationship with them where you're at least you're the cartographer. They trust you.
Yes.
Okay. So, excited hands. Still want to go there?
That's kind of where I am for now because I really don't have anything else that's coming up.
Okay, that's fine. So you mentioned a message possibly being connected to finalizing retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you notice? Any other messages or vibes coming from that?
No, it just really feels like a lot of gratitude, like as far as vibes. It really feels like a lot of gratitude. I'm just sitting here, I'm looking at all the beautiful flowers, and I'm just like, when you get that silly grin on your face that you just can't seem to get rid of.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of very content and somewhat excited.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How do you feel towards the excited part?
Curious.
Mm-hmm.
Open the box is something that's coming up, and I don't really know what that means. Open the box. But there was a box that we talked about
That's
before.
right.
I thought we opened it.
I don't know. I feel like there was one that a part said, "Here, take this with you," or you kind of took charge of.
Yes, it was a gift for me.
Yeah.
Like, this is yours. It's yours. I was just protecting that.
Yeah. Did that one ever get opened?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. We opened one that had roses and butterflies.
Maybe you can let this part know that you're curious about what it's talking about.
Okay.
Or why that's important for it to tell you now about open the box.
So I think this is a metaphor, but it's saying like that's where the stairs are. Because for the longest time, I'm like, I don't know if I can go. I don't know if I can move forward because I don't know where I'm going. I don't know I don't know what the steps are. I don't know what the destination is. But I feel like the answer to that question is that's where the stairs are. They're in the box.
Like I'm so curious if those are stairs leading up or down.
Up. The impression I get is up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is this part excited about stairs going up? Is that part of what excites it? Or you could ask it, what it's excited about.
It's excited about the answer. And I kind of indicated like the destination, because or the journey, like the journey. Is it the journey? No, not the journey. The answer. And kind of pointing to like this, the end, the top of the stairs. That's the destination.
Mm-hmm. Does this part need anything from you? Does it have any suggestions or warnings or concerns?
No, that feels totally shut down. There's nothing there.
Can you say more about that? Just asking the question shut it down?
Probably, yes.
Well, I'd like to apologize for my question. They're intended to do the opposite of shut down parts. So you can let it know that that was my bad. And if you'd like to go towards it with your curiosity, however that looks, then go for it.
All right.
Also, as I always say, none of it needs to be shared with me. So if it's
Okay.
ever feeling shut down because it doesn't know how or doesn't want to put the answer in words and say it out loud, that's fine.
Okay. I feel like there was a little giggle in there, like no worries. That was just feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah. And okay, so I'm like, why is this important for me to know now? Because I'm not getting answers to the other questions, like what can I help? What do you need? Why is this important now? This is what you've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm. And how are you feeling towards the part now as it tells you that?
Kind of bewildered.
Yeah. I'm hesitant to ask again, kind of, are there concerns? Is there something this part is afraid might happen if it didn't, have that excitement and share that with you?
Oh, let me see. Yes, there would be, I feel like a stalemate. No progress, stalemate, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's worried if it didn't clue you into that and point you towards that you wouldn't take action.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know where to go, you said.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And does that make sense to you?
Kind of. I mean, because really I've struggled for what seems like forever. What else would I do? Where else am I going to go? I still feel like I don't have the answers, but I kind of feel like, well, they're going to come.
Yeah. 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 How does this part feel about what you just said to me? Like, that you have this, what sounds like confidence of, I don't really know where I'm going, but I know who's coming with me. How does the part feel about your kind of position on that?
Trepidation is the word that came to mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is it concerned that you wouldn't go in the direction it wants? Or what's the trepidation about?
Yeah, it is. I think it is about the direction. I feel like it's like follow the stairs and go to the box. Like whatever's in the box.
And does the part know the answers to these things already? Does it believe that it already knows? Again, it doesn't have to tell me, but
No, I don't think so. It's the messenger.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how long has it been doing this, serving in this capacity?
I don't know. When you asked that, it got like funny about like waving arms and stuff like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, oh, like 100 years.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah. We've met other parts that have this kind of energy of something needs to get moving, and there seem to be other parts that are stuck, or there was the one on the railroad tracks, I think, that maybe kind of felt rusty or stuck there.
Right.
I wonder if this part has some of the same concerns, or if it also has like a part that it's pointing to, saying, there's the problem, there's the one that makes us get in the stalemate.
Hmm. Well, as you were saying that, I kind of saw like a shadow or something on the other side of, I don't know if it was a fence or like a giant railroad tie type thing or something like that, but there felt like there was an energy or something on the other side of that was just kind of the one that gets in the way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You could check that out with this part and ask if that other one is the one who might get in your way.
Well, yeah, is like the answer that came right away. Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Like, of course.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. And do you know that other part?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is the excited part aware of you and aware of your current age?
I feel like it thinks of me as separate from it. And it was okay with my current age, but it didn't actually give me an age of what it thought I.
Okay. Okay.
But it feels like it's separate from me.
Is that like a bad separate? Is that like it doesn't know you that well, or?
Hmm. Well, almost like I want to say an outsider because I'm not sure how else to say that.
Mm-hmm. The part has felt like it's the outsider?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's felt like its excitement hasn't always been welcome?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is that due to the shadow part on the other side of the fence also?
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the shadow part. The shadow part didn't want that excitement around.
Yeah. What does the excited part need from you so that it feels more welcome?
I feel like I should get a shovel and remove the shadow parts.
Okay.
Like dig it up. I've been digging up some
Yeah.
plants in my backyard, and I feel like that's kind of like, like dig the
Yeah.
roots out and get rid of that.
We all know how effective digging shadows away is. So, but it's great to know that part, it's pointing to this other part and it's saying, yes, this is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And does it trust you to go and work with that shadow part and learn about it?
Yeah, it's like, go ahead and try. Yeah.
Okay. So what feels right for you? Should we go ahead and try?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to approach the shadow part, but the exciting part is, definitely into that. It's, no objections there.
Great. Okay. Thanks to the excited part. It's given us a lot of messages. It's the messenger.
Yes.
Pointed us to the box and the stairs and the shadow part. So what feelings come up in you when you do detect the shadow part? Anything in your body?
Stalemate. Yes. Well,
Yeah.
stalemate is the only thing that's coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
Stalemate.
Yeah.
Neither forward nor backwards.
Mm-hmm. And does that have a kind of representation in the body?
Probably above my solar plexus.
And how do you feel towards it?
Kind of angry.
Yeah. Would it be all right to welcome that angry part?
Okay.
Okay. What's the angry part want us to know?
Nobody likes the shadow part.
Especially this angry part? Is it angry toward?
Especially the angry part.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel towards the angry part?
I want to tell it to shh.
Yeah, go away, angry part, right? That's coming up for you.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the shusher part. See if you can just acknowledge that part that wants to shush it.
Okay.
And let it know that here, all parts are welcome.
Okay.
And see if it will give you space so that you can learn more from the angry part.
Not really. No.
Okay. Okay. And what's its concerns? Shusher part.
It's kind of like nobody wants to hear from the angry part.
Yeah. Yeah. Has that been its experience? Is that when there's anger, nobody wants to hear it?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. That makes sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just let it know that.
It's kind of like, so what are we talking about then? Let's,
Well, it,
let's
it jumps.
push that.
Yeah. Well, it's at the front of the line right now. So what we're talking about is what it wants to talk about. Is there anything else it wants you to know about it, about its job, about its concerns?
No. So remember we were talking to a distracted part.
Mm-hmm.
Is this normal, like to have all these parts like stepping all over each other? Because the distraction part is like, I feel like it's trying to get my attention. Like just get off that subject.
Yeah, and it is so normal to have all these parts.
Really?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that we can ever get alone with one of them for a moment is kind of a miracle. Yeah. And the distraction part is saying what again? I might have got distracted.
Just forget about that. Just kind of forget about that.
Forget about which one?
All of that. All of that.
Okay.
The shushing and the angry and all that other stuff. Just.
Yeah. Does it feel like that would all be kind of messy?
Yes, it would.
Okay, great. Yes, we do know this part.
Yes.
This part is welcome.
I'm reminding it that I'm the one that cleans up the messes.
Yeah.
We talked with it about that before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in our last conversation, we talked about, well, maybe I did, talked about kind of bringing light to parts and how it felt like maybe they were off in the woods, but
yes,
we could kind of, the self can kind of go there to them and make sure their walkie-talkie's working.
Right.
How does it feel about all that?
I don't know. Um, feels like we should be doing something else.
Mm-hmm. Does it have any suggestions?
Well, I don't necessarily think that they're good suggestions. It's like, go over there.
Uh-huh.
You know, what's over there?
Yeah, and is it talking about go over there internally, or is it saying go play in the garden and make dinner?
No, it was internal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what direction is it pointing? What would it rather you be doing?
Making dinner would be good.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I remembered that from last time. It talked about playing in the garden and it talked about being hungry.
Yes.
Yeah. You just acknowledge that. And you could just try asking it for just a little time and space to see if it will let you get back to some of these other parts. We'll try to be efficient, and I'm taking notes. You got your notes. We'll look out for any messes.
Mm. It has a lot of anxiety around it.
Okay. What does it need from you?
It needs me to take control, to take charge, to put it up on a shelf. It says, like, put it up on the shelf where things can be seen. I don't know why, but that's okay. Up on the shelf, it's all right. Then I can move around.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it wants to have kind of an overview.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. You could thank it for wanting to look out for you.
Okay.
So it's feeling less anxious.
Yes. Yeah, that's much better.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and you can just let it know that that simple process is all that you're wanting to do with any other part that we go to. Is just see what it needs, see what you can offer it. So is it okay with you going back to hear from the shusher or the angry
Yeah.
part?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Great. Okay. Which one? Shusher, angry, shadow. That's kind of the order that they were last in.
Right.
Shusher said nobody wants to hear from the angry part. Angry part said nobody likes the shadow part.
Well, remember the excited part was the one that told us about the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the excited part is like kind of wants to come back around. It wants to come back around to the purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about that direction and purpose.
Right.
Make sure you get the thing at the end of the end of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you just let it know that this is the process.
Yep, that's okay. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. So I would vote that we go back to the shusher just because it was the last one.
Okay.
Feel all right with you?
Yes.
Okay. Shusher says nobody wants to hear from the angry part.
Right.
You could try just asking it if it would let you hear from the angry part. Or if there's anything it needs from you.
There's a lot of curiosity about what the anger is now.
Yeah. 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 Tell it you want to take that curiosity
Uh-huh.
and that's what's gonna lead us is the curiosity.
Okay.
Is the shusher all right with that?
Yes.
Okay. Let the angry part know that you're curious about it. And you can ask it what it wants you to know.
So the angry part is like, who am I?
It's saying that about itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And does it feel like it's a good thing that you're here to help learn about it?
I guess.
I mean,
Okay.
to that part,
It feels confused. It's like it doesn't know who it is.
has it felt like the shusher said nobody wants to hear from it? Has the angry part felt like that is its experience that nobody wants to hear from it?
Yes.
And would it be all right for that part, the angry one, to let you know more about what that's been like for it?
Sad and lonely and distant.
Yeah. How are you feeling towards it?
Compassionate.
Yeah. Just show it that compassion. Let it know that it doesn't have to be alone with you here.
That's good. That's, I want to say even relaxing. It's very restful that way.
Yeah, that's great. And also, its anger is welcome too. So if it wants to tell us more about what has made it angry, or if it wants to, because originally we were talking about the shadow part, and it said it was angry towards it. So if it wants to tell you more about that, it can show you.
The shadow part hides everything. It's always hiding. Shadows hide.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like that. It doesn't like the sneakiness of hiding. But it kind of doesn't know who it is. The angry part.
It doesn't know the shadow part very well.
It doesn't know who it is. The angry part just doesn't know who it is.
Yeah, it doesn't know who itself is still. Yeah. Do you want to stay with it and learn more and find out more about who it is?
Sure.
Okay. One way you could learn, I mean, you could ask it anything, but you could ask it like how long it's been doing that, or when it remembers first getting mad at the shadow part.
A long time is just the only time frame. Yeah, a really long time.
And if the angry part could have its own space where it was just allowed to be itself, allowed to be angry, and that you would join it and listen to it, like what would that look like? Where would it want to, what kind of environment would it like?
It likes restful environments, like the shore, the beach.
And what about if the shadow part's doing its thing and trying to hide stuff and be sneaky? What would the angry part like from you in those scenarios?
To pull it out. Yeah, pull it out.
Pull out the shadow?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, is it the angry part that said about digging it up earlier?
I think so.
Yeah, now it's like talking about pulling it out.
Okay. Is there anything else that the angry part needs from you to let you go work with the shadow part?
No, just get rid of it.
Okay. Well, we'll make a note that is the angry part's. That's what it wants. It's had negative experiences with the shadow part. It wants you to get rid of it.
Right.
And we'll just take that seriously as it must say that for a reason. Just want to acknowledge that.
Okay.
Okay. But it's going to let you go learn about the shadow part?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So now you can broadcast to the shadow part that you've gotten these other ones to step back. And how do you feel about getting to know the shadow part? Are you feeling curious about it?
I feel kind of neutral about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Will you let it know that I'm feeling curious about it?
Okay.
And that if it wants to speak directly with me, I'm fine with that.
Okay. I think that would be preferred.
Great. Okay. So, shadow part, are you there?
Yes.
You're the one who hides things?
Yes.
Yeah. And why is that important? Why is your job important?
Well, not everyone needs to know.
About the things you hide?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like people out in the world or other parts? Or both?
Well, whatever needs to be done. You know how the mess part cleans up the messes.
Uh-huh.
The shadow
You,
part hides what doesn't need to be seen.
yeah, okay. So you're also on mess duty, except you have a different approach.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Keep things out of view and out of the light. And I am assuming that you have a very good reason for doing that.
Of course.
Yeah. And I also want you to know that I'm not going to ask you to show me all the things that you want to hide.
Okay.
I just want to get to know you.
Okay.
Yeah. And how does that feel for you to just be chatting with me?
Curious. It feels curious.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Do you have questions of me or anything that you'd like
Yes.
to? Yeah.
Right before you said that, it wanted to know if you have things that you hide.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah. And I have things that I hide when I'm even in self energy. There's things that I choose not to go to or share with people, but I also have parts that it seems like that's all they want to do is hide things. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah, he gets that.
Yeah, and I have parts that I know are hidden and I still haven't been able to communicate with
Mm-hmm.
because my hiding parts are doing such a good job. So yeah, I get it.
Huh. Yes.
Yeah. You have a very good reason for doing what you do, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like housekeeping, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
at that point, for whatever reason, I said, well, you know, you could give them to the parts that open and look at at things instead of hiding them. There was no one to open them.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Mm.
That makes
There
a
was
lot
no
of
one
sense
to
to me.
open them, so the part just put them away.
Yeah, what kind of person would be the right kind to be opening those parts or to be seeing them? What would it need from whoever might do that?
I think it feels like I could open them. They're
And
mine.
can you
They're
show it? Yeah, show it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sees me.
Okay. How does it feel towards you?
Curious.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel towards it?
Also curious because it doesn't look like a shadow anymore. It's brighter and not hiding and just having a conversation. Was very eager to talk to you, and it's
Yeah.
curious about the conversation that we're having.
Yeah. Yeah. And does it feel safe showing itself to you? Again, not necessarily showing all these other things, but just in the way it shows itself to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what's it been like for this part to have to work in this way and not have anyone available to who could go open these things?
As you started asking the question, he kind of showed me the angry part and was fearful of that.
Yes.
Yeah, because there was a lot going on there between those two.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's something you could offer it. It's just, you could let it know that you met with the angry part briefly.
Mm-hmm.
You're meeting with it now briefly, and that you can keep being the one that they go to if and when they're having
Right.
that disagreement, or if one's blocking you from hearing from the other. What's to think about that?
Yeah, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that the angry part agrees with that, though, because remember, the angry part wanted me to get rid of the shadow.
Yeah. Maybe at the end, maybe when we've learned about the shadow, we can kind of go back and check in with the angry part and catch it up on whatever feels right.
Right. I think that would be good.
Okay, great. I'll make a note of that. Does it make sense to you that the shadow part, why it's worked so hard? And
I think so, yes.
okay, just show it that makes sense to you, and
Yep. I'm really grateful for that.
yeah, show it that.
I feel like even the angry part is understanding more now. It wasn't hiding, it was putting them away.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's kind of the crown he's coloring with.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Shadow crown. And hypothetically, what would this part need from you in order to let you go to those parts that it has been putting away?
Mm. Well, they are my parts. So it sort of feels like a warehouse where all the parts, all the hidden things are, all the hidden boxes. I feel like I'm like in at Amazon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I can just go and get boxes.
Yeah, and what's it need from you to trust you to do that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it needs anything. I feel like it was waiting for me to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no price.
Yeah.
I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just waiting for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything it needs from you in so that it doesn't feel like it's waiting for you, like meeting you in the future? Does it need anything or want to arrange any way of doing that?
There's like a sign-in sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should check in here on this paper.
Yeah, is that something you can set up with it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. The paper's on the counter.
What feels right for you next?
I think checking back in with this angry part.
Okay. All right. So thank the shadow part for showing up, showing itself. And we can check back in with the angry part.
So there's some laziness showing up now. Like I feel like the shadow part is really lazy. Kind of like the person in the basement warehouse thing that just sits in the back of the room.
Yeah, with the sign-in sheet.
Yeah, with the sign-in sheet.
Yeah. And is it okay with, I mean, does it want to be lazy, or is that a judgment from another part?
I think the angry part does not like that.
Oh, okay, so the angry part is like, hey, this shadow part's lazy.
Yeah.
Okay. The angry part has more energy, huh?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Does the angry part still want to get rid of the shadow part?
Yeah, he does. And I'm like, well, so, we need the shadow part. He's watching the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of getting feedback like, well, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and the angry part might not have the capacity to really understand what the other parts are doing in the way that you can.
Mm.
And you might just kind of let it know that you can go to parts and really understand them, including the angry part. You could remind it that other parts didn't want to hear from it, and other parts didn't understand it, and it didn't even understand itself.
True.
And just matter of fact, we can't actually get rid of parts. So our options are to keep them in the dark and hope that everything goes well, or to get to know them.
Yeah. He's like, that's not an option.
Yeah. The keeping in the dark isn't an option.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
We'll get to know them then.
Yeah. And again, the angry part, it can be the angry part. It can be whatever it is, and we can learn more about it. And it doesn't have to be the one that goes to all the other parts or manages them. It can have its own space. It can have the shore. And it can be its own part.
Can it have its own sign-in sheet?
I think it can have whatever it likes.
The other parts can come to it and it can tell me about it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, if other parts are conflicting or having anything going on with it, it can tell you.
Anger management now.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And also, you can just let it know about this idea of self-leadership where other parts don't have to engage with each other, theoretically. Like,
okay, yes. Mm-hmm.
like you could create a space for each of them and you could be their main liaison, and maybe you get to have a secret handshake and get to skip the sign-in sheet. I don't know. But yeah, the anger doesn't have to manage. The more that you're able to get to know parts and get to know what they need and communicate with them. What's the think about all that?
Good.
Yeah.
The beach is looking better all the time.
Yeah. Is there anything else it needs from you or wants to set up with you?
Not really. I feel like it's created a lot of space between the shadow and itself.
Nice.
And it's okay with that. The shadow is not hiding, but is out. And the angry part is relaxed and comfortable.
Nice. And the distracted part that thought this would all be too messy?
Pleased.
Uh-huh. And the excited part that really wanted you to get the thing at the end of the road or the end of the journey?
So it's like, finally, come back over here.
Okay, it has more to point us to.
Yes.
You could also kind of show it some of the things that you've already gotten just from this journey.
Mm-hmm.
We've used our own process and uncovered a lot.
We did.
Mm-hmm. What's to think about that?
Not too impressed.
Okay.
It's like, whatever. What about the box?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because the shadow part was kind of in the box business.
Yes, that's true.
I wonder if those boxes are related.
This one might have come from the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the best one. The
Okay.
part says this is the best one.
Okay. Could be right. I mean, it could be the one to get to know next, or that has the most to share with you next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. is there anything it needs from you in your future work in going to parts and going to boxes?
Let me see. Now, you remember how earlier it went blank?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of went blank again.
Okay. It's fine. Like I said, we have our own process. And I don't want to make any promises, but I do think that there's a way to open all the boxes to get to all of them.
Oh, how fun. So that was exciting for the excited part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it would like to see that. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it does still have its favorite, but it's cool with opening all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fun.
Almost all of it.
I didn't catch that last thing.
Almost all of them.
Okay, yeah, there's some that it wants to stay in the shadows.
Yeah.
Okay, we can negotiate all of that.
Okay.
Wow. How's everybody feeling?
Well, the excited part is getting frustrated.
Okay, all right. Because
I think it's because we haven't opened the box.
we still haven't. Okay.
Yeah.
Would it be okay to just peek right now?
Let me see. Yeah, I feel like the box is being like pushed towards me.
Okay. Take your time.
And
Or
oops,
don't take.
the lid is falling off a little bit.
Okay. You okay with that?
I guess.
Okay.
I feel like there's going to be a puppy in there or something. I don't know what's in there.
Just take your time and remember nothing has to be shared with me.
I don't know how to describe that. Feels like
How do you feel towards it?
curious.
Okay. Just let it know it can show up any way it wants, even if it's indescribable. And that you just want to get to know it.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of weird and kind of hard to explain.
That's fine. You can let it know that just like all the other parts, that you can make time and space for it to show up in its time.
Okay.
You know, and maybe it will remain hard to explain or hard to understand for some time, but that you can do that with it.
Okay. That feels good. Community is the word that I'm getting. Like there's a community in that box.
Uh-huh.
But there was like a blanket over it that had, that was a protector.
Yeah.
And that came up first.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
then
anything,
sort of showed me that there's this community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything it needs from you now so that it also feels safer and more just at ease in being with you and with continuing to let you get to know it?
It's kind of like, well, we're going to stay in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And it thinks the excited part is pushy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Excited part is pushy. That's kind of what it does, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, you just let this one in the box know that it can stay, it can be wherever it wants.
Okay.
And we are acknowledging the excited part's pushiness.
Mm-hmm.
And that we'll make sure that we're not pushed around too much by it.
Okay.
This part doesn't have to be pushed by it.
Okay.
But we'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. It's kind of like good luck with that.
Because it thinks the pushy part's just going to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any like solution or ideas about how to keep that from happening in the future? How to navigate that?
Well, I think just letting the pushy part, the excited part, know where we are in the process. This is the process.
Yes.
That seems to be calming.
And it liked the idea of all the boxes, right? So
Yeah,
I'm kind of thinking of a kid at Christmas, and it's like, open this one, open this one. It's like, we're going to open all of them.
Right.
You know, like, yeah.
Yeah, hold on a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll just keep updating that excited part about the process and let it know that it's fine to be excited and that we're on the same team about getting to know parts.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah, and it's welcome. Is there anything else that the part in a box needs from you now, assuming that we're going to kind of bring this to a close and agree to come to know it more later? Is there anything it would like from you in the meantime?
No, I just want some space now, but check back in.
Okay.
Check
Just
back
let it
in.
know. It can make any requests of you, and you can make any space that it wants.
Okay.
And I'll make a note to check back in, if that helps.
I asked if it wanted to go to the shadow part, and it was like, no.
Yeah, it can have its own space.
Yeah, it wants to stay by the stairs. So,
Okay.
okay. I think we're good, but I think we should definitely check back in with what that's about and what's going on there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm happy to bring that up in our next conversation or remind you in any way, or you can whatever works for you around that.
Okay.
Let the part know that. Yeah. And thanks to all these great parts.
Yeah, they were kind of fun today. They were cooperative and communicative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did great.
So, well, thank you, James. Thank you for reaching out.
My pleasure.
Yes.
It is fun.
Amazing.
It is exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
Can't wait to learn more about that fox.
Okay. Well, keep me posted if you get into it before our next conversation. Otherwise, yeah, we talked about it, but we can book something.
Yes. Yep. We'll get that on the calendar.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.